The blue-green waters between Crete and Cyprus have become a geopolitical pressure cooker. To keep a lid on potential conflict, NATO has dispatched the most sophisticated carrier strike group it can muster, centered on the $13 billion United States ship Gerald R. Ford. Washington's newest supercarrier spent most of 2023 policing the same region after Hamas's October assault on Israel, and, only months after finally coming home, she is already steaming back toward Europe as the alliance's first. A floating city called the United States ship Gerald R. Ford brings tomorrow's Navy to today's crisis. Stretching longer than 3 football fields and displacing more than 100,000 tons, the Ford looks familiar only from afar. Up close, the flight deck tells a different story. Electromagnetic catapults replace steam pistons, advanced arresting gear saves space and reduces shock on landing gear, and an island position farther aft opens extra parking spots for jets. Those engineering tweaks translate directly into combat power: more sorties per day, faster turnarounds, and lower crew fatigue, exactly the attributes a crisis response force needs when commanders demand tempo, flexibility, and staying power. The silent star of the flight deck is a UFO-shaped drone named X-47B. During deck drills, an odd, tailless silhouette occasionally rolls clear of the Ford's aircraft elevators. Painted battleship gray, the Boeing Northrop Grumman X-47B looks like a flying stingray complete with folding wings and flush inlets. Unlike traditional carrier aircraft, nobody clambers into a cockpit before launch. The drone talks to avionics bays below decks, takes its instructions and catapults itself into the sky without a human at the controls. It is the clearest sign yet that the autonomous revolution in air power has reached the fleet. 2 decades of trial, error and triumph for the X-47B program. Back in 2000, the U.S. Navy offered Boeing and Northrop Grumman modest seed money to see whether a jet-powered unmanned aircraft could survive the brutal maritime environment. Early tests produced the smaller X-47, a Pegasus, but the real breakthrough came with the twin demonstrator X-47B air vehicles that first flew at Edwards Air Force Base in 2011. By 2013, those prototypes had not only launched from and trapped aboard the United States ship George H.W. Bush, but had also repeated the feat in night conditions and even performed touch and goes on a moving deck, achievements that fast-tracked the program past its original 50-sortie trial plan. Autonomy, stealth, and the revolution in air power. The X-47B's sleek, blended body design is more than aesthetic minimalism. A smooth exterior hides radar-reflective surfaces and internal weapon bays, capable of accommodating 4,500 pounds of precision ordnance. A single Pratt & Whitney F-100-220U engine pushes the 4,4,000 pound aircraft to transonic speed and 4,2,000 feet, well above most battlefield threats. Yet the real marvel lies in its algorithms. The drone plots shipboard approach patterns, snags arresting cables, and even plugs into a tanker's refueling basket without assistance. Each successful cycle chips away at the assumption that only a human pilot can handle carrier aviation's infamous complexity. F-35 variants turn the Ford into a networked air superiority hub. Sharing the deck with the drone is the F-35 Lightning II, a family of single-engine stealth fighters descended from the F-22 but optimized for multirole dominance. The F-35C variant, with its bigger wings and beefier undercarriage, owns the carrier environment. The U.S. Marine Corps deploys the Stovall F-35B from assault ships, and allies across Europe rely on the conventional takeoff F-35A. All 3 models can cruise at Mach 1.6 while keeping their missiles tucked safely inside, preserving a low observable profile that lets them sneak close, fire first, and leave before enemy raiders can lock on. Sensor fusion, software, and the helmet that lets pilots see through metal. At the heart of the Lightning's lethality is a computing architecture now entering its technology refresh 3-phase, a hardware and software overhaul that unlocks extra processing headroom for forthcoming Block 4 capabilities, such as improved electronic warfare and long-range weapons. 6 infrared cameras feed the distributed aperture system, bathing the pilot in real-time spherical video so immersive that looking down reveals the ocean rushing beneath the floorboards. an active electronically scanned array radar, passive radio frequency detectors, and the Barracuda defensive suite merge into a single, decluttered picture on a 20-inch panoramic touchscreen, and on the visor of a helmet that costs more than a Ferrari yet allows the pilot to aim missiles simply by turning ahead. The result is decision-making measured in milliseconds rather than minutes. Weapons carried in shadow and in plain sight. When a mission demands absolute stealth, the F-35 totes 22,000-pound Joint Direct Attack munitions or 4 AIM-120 advanced medium-range air-to-air missile inside its base. If radar silence is less critical, the jet spruces up into beast mode, bolting 6 external pylons under the wings for a mix that can include guided rockets, anti-ship missiles, or even nuclear gravity bombs, slated for future Block 4 certification. Lockheed Martin's Sidekick launcher squeezes a 6th advanced medium-range air-to-air missile into each bay, ensuring that an F-35 on patrol can defend itself and its drone wingman without dash-to-deck resupply. Stealth is more than radar. Low observability extends far beyond angled panels and radar-absorbing coatings. The F-35's serpentine inlet hides the compressor face from radar view and diffuses fan noise, while saw-toothed exhaust pedals break up the inferred plume. Engineers even coat the cockpit's transparencies with a thin layer of metalloids that prevents radar from bouncing off the pilot's helmet. For peacetime sorties, the jet clips on a disposable Lundberg lens that intentionally magnifies its signature, allowing civilian air traffic control to track it like any other aircraft, proof that stealth can be dialed up or down depending on the mission. When man and machine fly together. During summer trials, the Ford's handlers orchestrated a historic ballet. A manned F-35C landed, folded its wings, and taxied clear. Moments later, an X-47B ghosted down the center line, caught the same cable, and rolled forward under remote guidance. The tableau offered a glimpse of future combat air patrols in which human pilots supervise a screen full of autonomous wingmen that scout ahead, jam enemy radars, or sacrifice themselves against well-defended targets. Carrier decks may look busier than ever, yet every unmanned airframe frees a cabin, a life raft, and a rack of oxygen bottles for other uses. How crews keep the monsters fed and cool. Neither stealth fighter nor stealth drone can fight without kerosene, electrons, and cold air. The Ford's redesigned underway replenishment rigs were widened to accommodate the F-35's sizable F-135 engine modules, streamlining swaps during blue water deployments. Below decks, the integrated power package combines environmental control, starter motor, and auxiliary generator into one box, letting maintainers access fewer line-replaceable units while freeing valuable cubic meters for weapons magazines or data centers. Thermal management is the final frontier. After a high-power radar sweep, the F-35's skin can warm enough to compromise inferred stealth, so deck crews plush the fuel system with cool JP5 to bleed heat, another procedure fine-tuned during those extended Mediterranean patrols. How the X-47B paved the way for the MT-25 and future loyal wingmen. Although just 2 X-47B demonstrators exist, the data harvested from their carrier trials now underpins the Navy's MT-25 Stingray project, a production aerial tanker drone that will triple the striking radius of carrier air wings by 2030. Lessons learned about deck handling, electromagnetic interference, and autonomous recovery have also migrated into Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency's Loyal Wingman efforts, where expendable combat drones pair with F-35 and 6th-generation fighters to swarm hostile air defense networks. In that sense, the X-47B is less a weapon than a trailblazer, its aluminium skin scarred by arresting gear burns but immortalized in every algorithm that guides tomorrow's unmanned fleet. If you enjoyed this deep dive into cutting-edge military tech, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. About thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments. We read them all. Subscribe now and join us for more high-tech stories from the front lines of innovation. Thanks for watching. See you in the next mission-ready episode.